welcome to Beyond Life Paranormal Research, Missouri's third podcast. And my guest tonight is the founder of All Out Paranormal, and we're going to get right into it. So let me bring him on, Rex Neilson.
Hey, everybody. Let me fix this. There we go. Hey, Russ.
Rex. How are you? Thanks for coming on the show.
You bet. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Hi, Tracy. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself and about your paranormal.
Let's see. I started All Out Paranormal with my two boys in 2011. As of right now, neither one of the boys are with me anymore. They're still very much a part of it. I'll never replace them. I have new members that I brought in just about a year ago. We've had an amazing year. It's been a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I couldn't go this weekend. They're at on an investigation to the Cambry house. But with me getting ready to go to South Dakota and stuff, I had to kind of cut back on a few things. So the next two investigations, I won't be with them. But let's see. I've been interested in the paranormal ever since my first experience when I was 4. I've read everything I could about it, watched everything I could about it. It's been a big part of my life, ever since my first experience when I was 4. So, and now since I retired from law enforcement in 2019, I do this in my art full time. This is what I do now.
Oh, nice. And I know you had said you're an author as well.
Yes. Yep. First time author this year. My first book came out in March of this year, which is my art, and I call my art Unexplainable Art. And my first book is Unexplainable Art in black and white. Obviously, all the pictures of it in there are in black and white. My second book just came out about a month ago, and it's Unexplainable Art Emerging Colors. And the entire book is all colorized. There's only one picture per page because I didn't want it bleeding into the next picture.
Right.
I'm extremely proud. I was blown away when I was asked about doing my first one because, to tell you the truth, pardon this, but when I was asked, I thought, well, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
My family and friends know I can draw, but to be recognized for it now is really cool. I've illustrated a couple books for Letriana Brown. I am currently working with a gentleman on illustrations for a book that he and I are collaborating on. I'm also working on my third book, and it'll be a 3-book series. The next one will be of what I've encountered in the paranormal and supernatural over all of these years, because everything that I've seen or encountered, I've drawn a picture of it. So I'm going to redraw all the original pictures, and I will put a story. So there'll be actual words in in the next book. But I will write the story coinciding with each picture and where I was, if I can tell you where I was at. I mean, there's some places I can't disclose, but I can still tell the story and show the picture. So, been a whirlwind year. I mean, I never thought I would do one book, let alone 2, and working on a third. So it's been great.
How long do they usually take to actually write a book?
It's funny. My first book, Letriana had called me. I remember it like it was yesterday. Called me on a Tuesday. It was telling me about that the book had been published, and this is the one that the children's book that I had did all the illustrations for. And she goes, and I was talking to my publisher, and she wants to publish a book of your art. I'm going, yeah, right. And she goes, no, really. And I didn't realize that our publisher, Vicky, was on the phone too. It was a three-way conversation. Had no clue that
Oh
she was
wow.
there. And all of a sudden she goes, oh yeah. She goes, I've seen your art and I think it needs to be published. And I told her, I said, well, I got choked up because, like I said, I didn't think anybody really cared. You
Right.
know? And so I told her, I said, when's my deadline? She goes, Friday. And luckily, I had everything I had that's in the first book I had done already.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did. I had it all done, and two were on a Friday. And the following Monday, the book went up live on Amazon. So
Oh, nice.
it didn't take long. Didn't take long at all.
What's some of the craziest investigations you guys have done?
Oh man. God, I'm trying to find one specific. Because it's like a 3,000-mile radius around Iowa that we've gone over all the years that we've been together. The craziest. I'm, I'm, oh my gosh. There's been a lot, but one of the ones that was crazy was just not too far from me, about 19 miles away in Strawberry Point, Iowa, is the Franklin Hotel.
Okay, I've heard of the place. Yeah.
And that was one of our investigations with my new team. And when we were there, we were the only ones there. There's four of us in that entire hotel. There's nobody else. We have free run of the entire place. Well, we started off because it had been a brothel, and the madam that lived there, I actually stayed in her room where she died
Oh
that
wow.
night. So we were downstairs, and they did human trafficking of children at one point through that building. So we were in the basement and very uneasy feeling, and I actually got tripped on our way back out. And it was funny because I had everybody around me, and they're looking around. They go, "What'd you trip on?" I said, "I didn't trip on." I said, "There's nothing there for me to trip on." But it felt like somebody, it caught me like right in the shin.
Right.
And I had to actually grab onto one of the posts to stop myself from face planting. And so we get back upstairs, and we're swapping out some equipment and stuff. And I took my camera, my IR digital camera, and I set it up on the bar. And we're getting ready, and we're going to go upstairs to room 7, which was where the madam, that was her room where she had died in. She died of natural causes. She wasn't nothing
Right.
spectacular. Nobody strangled her or stabbed her or anything like that. So we're getting ready to go upstairs, and I reach over to get my camera, and my camera's not there. And I'm like, "Hey guys, where's my camera?" And they said, "Well, you set it right there," because I set it right next to Carrie's digital recorder.
Uh-huh.
And Carrie goes, "It's right there." I said, "No, it's not." So we're all tearing our equipment bags and stuff apart, can't find it. And Carrie goes, "Well, let's go back down the basement. Maybe it's down there." And I'm going, "Well, everybody's seen me carry it up here and set it down, but okay." So we went downstairs, and we go, and it's like a maze down there in that basement. I mean, you could get lost.
Mm-hmm.
So we get clear back in the corner, and we're looking around, and I'm shining the flashlight, and I see my camera. It's like 7 foot, a little over 7 foot up in the air on top of a bunch of boxes in the cobwebs. And the only person that could have put it up there would have been me.
Right.
The other members, there's no way they could have put it up there. And I mean, it's up there in the dust and the cobwebs. And we're like, how in God's name did that get back down here, clear up there? Because I didn't, if I was going to set it down, I wouldn't have set it, 8 foot up in the air.
Right.
And in the dust and in the cobwebs. I have no idea how it got in there, up there. So we go upstairs, we do our Estes methods, and we carry on and we investigate till about 2 o'clock in the morning. And my other members decide to leave and go home. I said, hey, I paid to stay here. I'm staying right here. So they get out of there. I help them pack up, get them out of there about 2:30. So I go upstairs and get ready, and I'm going to call it a night. And so I crawl into bed, and I can hear people walking back and forth in the hallway. And I can see underneath the door shadows, people going by. And I'm like, who in the hell is in here with me? So I get up, go out in the hallway, nothing. I go up and down the hallways, nothing. Nobody's around. So this had went on for quite a while. So I decided to put a recorder and a camera outside my door. There was a little buffet. So I set a camera and a recorder out there and went back in the room. So this, I could hear, even conversations and stuff going on. It was just awesome that all this was going on. And I'm the only person in that building, and I'm the only one that can get in and out.
Right.
Except for the owner. And so I end up falling asleep, and I kid you not, I'm laying there, and all of a sudden I feel like somebody's running their fingers through my chest, on my chest, and it woke me up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like looking around, and it's funny because earlier when we were doing the Estes, we had fake $100 bills up on the dresser across the room from the bed. And through the Estes, we had questions like, we asked how much would it cost? And we kept getting 200 or 300. Well, that's what we had up there. And when we said the money's on the dresser, the cat balls and stuff started going off, and the REM pod started going off. So it was an intelligent response to having that there. So I'm laying there and I go, hey, I've already paid you the money. It's late. If you want to cuddle, that's fine, but I got to go back to sleep. So I ended up going to sleep, and I had to be out by 7 a.m. Well, about 5 o'clock, I heard all this commotion downstairs. People going up down the stairs. And so I figured, well, I'm just going to get up. They must be down there prepping the kitchen to open the restaurant. So I take a shower and stuff, and I get everything gathered up, and I go downstairs, not a single person there. And it sounded like there was 30 or 40 people.
Oh, wow.
Downstairs, walking around. I could hear people talking, doors open and closing, like dishes clanking together. And I got downstairs and I yelled at the top of my lungs, is there anybody here? And I walked around the entire place, nobody, not a single person there. And it was pretty wild.
It sounds like a pretty active place.
It was. And I want to go back again. But the thing with the camera and I forgot, and the recorder I set outside my room, soon as I closed and locked the door, the camera and the recorder both shut off.
Oh, wow.
Because I got up the next morning, well, just about 2 hours later, and grabbed them, and I'm like, why are they shut off? And there was nothing. All you can see is me setting them up, looking. You can hear me talking. You see me walk to the room. And as soon as I closed that bedroom door, everything shut off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was I was like, oh, are you kidding me? Stop screwing with my stuff.
Yeah, I hate when they do that. We had a similar experience in a cemetery. We had set a recorder on a headstone, and you can clearly hear us all in the back of the cemetery, and you hear something walking through the grass and goes and shuts the recorder off.
And it's funny because like the cameras and recorders, I don't know how your guys is it, but you've got to hold the button down for so many seconds before it shuts off.
Yep, that's
It's
how
not
mine
like,
is too.
yeah, you just can't push the button and it just shuts off. So
And I see you got an event coming up. Let's talk about that a little bit. The
which one?
Spirits of
The
Deadwood.
Spirits of Deadwood. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. That is September 29th and 30th, and Deadwood, South Dakota. Let's see, Shane Pittman and Josh Purvis of Searchers will be there. Miranda Young, the Ghost Biker, will be there. Horn Paranormal, Marilyn Bast, and me. So looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun. All the proceeds and everything go to Sacred Mountain Retreat, which is a great place and a great cause. It's where vets and first responders and law enforcement and firefighters can go that suffer from PTSD and such. And it's just a week of family, friendship, and love.
Oh, nice.
And
I'm
they
I'm
pay
glad to
for
see
you to
teams
go
are
there.
doing that.
What now?
I'm glad to see teams are doing that, supporting the vets and charity stuff. That's awesome that teams are coming together to do that.
Yeah, I'm proud to be a part of it. It's going to be fun. I auctioned off. I was given a cow skull and I painted it and decorated it and I auctioned it off and got $155 for it. And the people that won it said, "Go ahead and keep the cow skull." So I'm gonna, when I get there, I'll give the check to Jared from Sacred Mountain, and I'll give him the skull. So they have a gala that they have, and they have a silent auction and stuff.
Oh,
And
nice.
so I'm just gonna tell him either you can keep it or you can, you know, try to auction it off at the gala. So I monetarily, I really can't give him anything. I mean, I'm giving my time to go there.
Right.
Um, I did draw a picture of all three of the haunted locations, which is the Bullock Hotel, um, the brothel, and the Fisher Hotel. God, I hope I didn't mess that up. But anyway, I drew all three of them and framed it, and we'll be auctioning that off, and all the proceeds will go to them. And I'm also donating an entire portfolio of my prints, and we'll auction that off. And I'm bringing. I had a replica of a 1958 Gibson Explorer guitar
Mm.
made, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I'm actually donating that guitar to the gala, so they can auction that off. I'll be bringing that with me, and they Jared and doesn't know that, so it'll be really cool to hand that stuff to him and say, here, you know, I wish I could do more, but hopefully this will help. So
Yeah, probably every little bit helps with an appreciation. So
yeah, because it's an awesome deal. I mean, because if you get accepted into it and get to go, it's all paid for. You don't have to pay for anything.
oh, nice.
They fly you there, and yeah, it's a good deal, and it's really cool. You know, it's vets but it's also for law enforcement stuff. So, and being retired from law enforcement, you just don't see that
Yeah.
very often. And I thought that was really cool that, you know, first responders, firefighters, and law enforcement were all in it too. So that was really awesome that they recognized everybody.
Yeah, I've got a veteran on my team right now. He's still in active duty in Army National Guard. He's got 3 more years till retirement. So,
Yeah, I don't miss the job. I I really don't. I gave 31 years um, to doing the most thankless job that I'd ever done. But I love doing it, But there's a time and a place where you got to say enough's enough.
right.
And it had taken a toll on me physically, emotionally, and I just couldn't put my family through it anymore. That was the huge worry, for me going out and doing what I did. And just, I never got to I missed so much time with my family because you worked all the time,
Yeah.
constantly. So yeah, if they came back and told me that I'd have a desk job and I'd make 150,000 a year and I would only have to be there, one day a month or something, I still wouldn't still wouldn't go back. There's
Yeah,
no
I
way.
don't blame you.
I like what I'm doing now. I mean, it's what I went to college for, and I've got 50 plus years in just for the art. So,
Mhm.
and now I get to do it and do it all the time. I mean, I tried some new stuff today, and actually, it turned out really cool. And I did. My day starts about 3 o'clock, and I go through evidence and stuff, and and then I'm getting everything ready to for South Dakota because I'm actually leaving early to go there, and I between me since I'm retired and my wife has to work, I keep care of the house and I do the grocery shopping and all that stuff, but it's close to sometimes 12 to 14 to 16 hours a day that off and on I'll be at my drawing table working on something.
Mhm. Do you guys use DVR cameras when you guys investigate too?
Yes. Yep. Yes, we do. Yep. And my big handheld IR camera, I can't find it. So I think I left it in investigation somewhere.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't misplace stuff like that. And I tore my office apart. And that's the only thing I can think of is I left it in an investigation somewhere. But where, I wouldn't have a clue.
Right.
And then who's to say that somebody did an investigation after we were there, found my camera, and was like, oh, hey, you know?
Yep.
So I'm not saying anybody would steal it or anything, but, you know, I have no idea where it's at. That's the only thing I can think of is I left it somewhere, which would be my own fault. So,
Right.
but
If
yes,
people
we do.
want to if people want to get a hold of you for investigations, how do they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me on All Out Paranormal, um, my Facebook page. They can go to my regular Facebook page, Rex Neilson. They can, the email and everything is on the Facebook page. The phone number that's on there is my cell phone. So my phone is on 24/7. I never shut it off. So if you call and I don't answer, please leave a message. I will call you right back. I will. It's as simple as that. Usually I don't answer it if I don't recognize the number or if I'm away from the phone or something and don't answer it. Yeah, please leave a message and I'll definitely get right back to you.
What are some of like the famous places you've been to investigating?
Oh my gosh. One of the funnest ones that we ever did was Waverly Hills.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've
And
been recently.
that was we didn't have enough time. I wish we could have spent a lot more time there because You see the documentaries and stuff on TV, how big it is, but it's
Mm,
nothing compared to when you're standing in front of this massive
exactly.
building. You're standing there going, yeah, television doesn't do this thing any justice whatsoever because it's massive. It just blew me away how big it was when we got there.
We got a
And
question for you. What
yeah,
location would be your dream location to investigate?
oh my gosh, there's in the U.S. there'd be a couple places, but in the U.S., one that would be one of my dream ones, and I will get there. Daniel Klaus's Hinsdale House.
Okay, yep.
Daniel's a really good friend of mine, and I've made a couple attempts to get there and haven't gotten there. Um, that one I definitely is on my list that I want to do. I'd love to go over to England, and I think Stonehenge
Mm-hmm.
would be an absolutely amazing place to be able to go and investigate. And any castle in Scotland or Ireland, I don't care. Just doing a castle would be really cool. But yeah, Stonehenge and Hinsdale for sure.
Awesome. What kind of experience did you have at Waverly?
Oh, the first thing was which was really cool. They were giving us the tour, and we were outside, and it's still daylight out. So we're walking around, and I'm taking pictures. I look up on the second floor, no windows or anything are there, and I'm standing there, and there's a shadow figure standing right there looking down at me. And I'm standing there, and I'm going, "You got to be kidding me!" So I started taking pictures,
Mm-hmm.
got pictures of it, and the rest of the group that I went with, they all come up and they said, "What are you looking at?" And I said, "The same thing you are. What are you looking at?" And they said, "That figure that's standing there." I said, "Sure enough." And all of a sudden it walks, and it got down to the next pillar,
Mm-hmm.
went behind it, and you never seen it again. And when we got up there on that floor for the investigation, we checked everything to see what could have done that. There's nothing. There's nothing up there that could have done that. Um, the scream, that was something else. We were on the third floor. Me and two other people from another team. We're sitting in the hallway, and well, you've been there. You know how pitch black it is.
Yep.
So, what's Angel say? Vlad's
Vlad's
Castle. Yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah,
That would be
definitely
cool.
difficult.
Um, so we're sitting there, and we had heard the history of it, and we're talking about it. And of course, there was just enough light where we were sitting there to illuminate us, but you couldn't see, you know, 6 foot beyond our light. It was pitch black. And so we're sitting there, and we started playing music from um, like the 40s,
Mm-hmm.
and we were doing that. And so we stopped, and we are going to do um, an EVP session, and go on about 45 minutes. We were going to start, and so we just started, and we hear this blood curdling scream down the end of the hallway to our left, and we all looked at each other, and I'm just waiting for somebody to say something. And the one lady I was with goes, "Did you hear that woman scream?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "How could we not?" They said, "Let's go down there and check it out." And I said, "No, let's just stay right where we're at.
Yep.
We don't need to go running down into pitch black. We'll just leave it at that." So we stayed there, and we were doing our thing, and we were taking pictures. And about 10-15 minutes later, we heard it again, and it was about 10 foot away from us. And they heard this blood curdling scream again. But I mean, it was really, really close. just like beyond into the darkness.
Hmm.
And they're going, yeah, I'm not going beyond the light. And I said, either am I. I said, they can stay right where it's at. And it was funny because when I got back and went through the pictures, you can see a female um, actually peeking out the doorway. She's like in a robe, like in not like a ceremonial robe, but like a bathrobe.
Hmm.
And she's actually leaning out next to the door jamb, and she's leaning out and she's looking at us. And it was right down just beyond where the light wasn't shining is where I took the picture with the IR camera.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can see her standing there, plain as day, leaning out and looking at us.
So at least I know I'm not crazy, because when we were there, we were on the fourth floor in the surgery room, and I was laying on the surgery table
Mhm.
playing sick, and we heard that blood curdling scream from the hallway. And my immediate thing said to my one member, text that other team and find out where they're at, because I knew they had females with them,
Uh-huh.
and they were up on the fifth floor out on the roof.
Yep. We were the only one. Everybody else was down in the death tunnel when we heard the scream. Yeah, and it still gives me goosebumps to this day. I mean, it's like any horror movie scream that you've ever heard, and
Yeah, it's loud. It echoes through that building.
yes, it does. And what was even worse is you heard it twice, and then the second time was really made you uneasy because you knew it wasn't very far away.
And then we had a figure come running down the fourth floor hallway when we were walking back. It ran right in between us.
Oh,
Maybe
wow.
about 5'3" tall, and it come flying right past us and then disappeared.
Man, that place is really cool. Well, the number of people that died there is just phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
astronomical. It's unreal. Because, well, next week, your guests that are on, I actually got stuff from Waverly Hills from them. I got a
Oh,
couple of the
nice.
glass syringes.
Hmm.
I got one of the keys and some other stuff. I've gotten quite a bit of stuff from him over the years. Some of the movie props from some of their movies and stuff I've got, which is cool. They're
My
awesome.
buddy that used to be a tour guide at Waverly. He got some glass bowls and plates from there
Oh, that'd be cool.
that he found I guess he got them at an antique store, and they have the Waverly Hills emblem on them.
Oh, wow. That'd be cool. And didn't it just blow your mind when they were talking about people that went there, nurses and doctors and everything?
Yeah.
They never got to leave.
Nope.
Once you were there, you were there. You didn't get to see your family again. You didn't get to go on vacation. You didn't get to go shopping. You had to stay there. The rest of your life was at Waverly Hills.
Yeah, I know they were telling us a story about the one nurse. She just had a baby not too long ago before she started working there. So the husband would bring the son up, and they'd pull in the parking lot. She'd stand up on the balcony up there, and that's the only way she could see her kid.
Yep.
And then eventually she dove off the roof.
Yeah, it was that was so hard to wrap your mind around thinking, how dedicated you'd have to be to go there and work knowing that you're never going to get out of there. You're not
Yep.
going to see your family. You're going to live at Waverly Hills for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it was definitely a shame to hear some of the stories that we got told.
Yeah, it was. And the different feelings in the different areas of that place. I mean, some of them were so much sadness, and then some of it was just ominous, downright. I hate to use the word evil because it's overused, but extremely grumpy.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially the first floor is that guy is very grumpy on the first floor.
that is for sure.
I know he cussed at us several times on the spirit box.
Yeah, it's because when we were sitting there, I was with a couple other people. They'd come back. I don't remember what floor they come back from, but we were sitting there, and there was only just a few lights on where we were at. I mean, it was still pretty dark, and we heard and watched the door open up down to our right, and the light shone through because the door opened and the door closed. So we sit there and figured, it's just one of the other team members, and we sat there and waited and waited and waited. Everybody else was still where they were at.
Right.
So that was really cool that we even caught that because we're going, okay, you guys can come out now. Stop screwing around. And there wasn't anybody there.
Did you guys hear the big door slamming?
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
when we first started off, we actually heard that. We had a thunderstorm come through, and then all of a sudden you hear a big metal door slam somewhere, and we can never find where it came from.
Yeah. One of the other cool things is my oldest son was there with me. So he had went down the end of the death tunnel, and then he come back up, and he decided to go back down it again. So he's going down, and he gets down to the bottom, and he runs into a figure that made me look tiny. I mean, if anybody's seen me or knows me, I'm 6'7" and 300 pounds. And my son got down there and he goes, "Dad, I ran into that thing and I turned my ass around and I ran all the way back up." He goes, because it physically stopped him.
Right.
And he goes, this figure, the shadow figure was huge. And he goes, he made you look tiny. And I said, well, good thing I didn't decide to go down there, because imagine, because Christopher's, 6'2", but he's not,
Right.
he's dead. But that was really interesting for him to say, "Yeah, Dad, I ran right into that thing and it made you look tiny. And I wasn't going to stand there and argue with it or anything. I turned my ass around and ran all the way back up to the top."
I don't blame him seeing that down there. We went down to the body chute down there. We went all the way to the bottom, and we were snapping pictures down there, and we had this whole black mass just filling up the body chute headed down at us. And we thought the other team was up top at first because we heard it sound like that gate that's up there moved.
Yeah.
And there was nothing. And to this day, we still couldn't explain it. I went up there and looked, and nothing.
Yeah, God, I want to get back, and I want to be able to do an overnight, be there, because I think it was 5 or 6 hours we were allowed to be there. And it's not enough time. It's too big of a place.
Yeah.
You can't hit all that stuff in that short amount of time.
I think it was 7:30 to 4 a.m.
Yep. I believe that's what we did, because you had your tour first.
Yep.
Then you go to the shop, the gift shop. Then you get that taken care of, and then you come back in and they pretty much let you loose.
Yep.
But man, it's just it ain't enough time.
No, it's definitely not. I know they used to let people sleep there at one time.
Yep. But if you do an overnight now, you have to stay out back in the whatever the cabin or whatever's back there. Okay. You can't stay physically sleep in Waverly Hills overnight. You have to stay in the cabin or whatever in the back.
I don't know why they do that. Probably because of their tours in the mornings, probably.
Yeah. But it was a cool place. That's
Have you guys done Missouri State Penitentiary yet?
yeah. We didn't get to do an investigation. We went there on a tour, and but wow, I mean, we were taking pictures and recording and stuff the whole time through the tour, and we're gonna book it for next year and an overnight. And what's so cool is once your investigation starts, they just let you go.
Yep.
Yep, here you go. Here's 47 acres. Have fun. Don't lock yourself into one of the cells.
Yeah.
Because we
So,
don't have any keys, is exactly what they said.
yeah, I guess it took guy $700 to get a locksmith to get him out of one of the cells.
Yep.
And we did the overnight there, and we had some pretty good activity, especially in the dungeon cells.
Yeah, that's really weird down there. That's man, when you get down there and you think of what they did to them and how they housed them down there and how they treated them, it's like, yeah, no wonder they called it the dungeon.
Yeah, oh yeah. We heard a woman down there when we first started off. She said hello in the hallway, and we thought maybe it was one of the tour guides or part of the other team, but there was nobody. I ended up catching it on my full spectrum camera,
Oh, nice.
and then we finished up in the dungeon cells, and we had motion lights, music boxes set up. So I was playing like I was a guard, telling the firebug he's in the wrong cell, he needs to come out of there. So
Hmm.
music box go off, motion light, and I'm standing next to the last motion light. And we had this new girl that just started into the paranormal, and she's freaking out because the light's going off, and I'm just standing there, and it's not phasing me one bit.
Yeah,
But
that's
I'll tell you, when you guys do the overnight, the female wing, don't let
mhm.
any of the men go up there because they will not respond.
That's what we heard.
We've
That's what
tried
we
it.
heard.
We tested the theory out, and we didn't get nothing up there.
Yeah,
We
that'll
even
be cool.
tried old music and everything to try to get them going, and since there was two guys and a lady up there, they wouldn't respond to nothing.
And, you know, and that's weird because especially when you start playing music, it's from the era of when it's a great trigger.
Yep.
And yeah, I what was my big selling point was when they said, once your investigation starts, you're on your own. You get to go. They don't babysit you. And I'm like, yeah, that's the way it should be done.
Yeah, we'll have to get together sometime. My team and your team will do a big investigation together.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That would be fun.
We're
I'm
talking
good.
about going to Missouri State Penn again here soon.
Yeah, because it's not a bad drive um, from where I live to it. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, I'm only like 2 hours away from Jeff City, so
Well, it'll take me a little bit longer to get there, but it's not too bad.
have you guys done Villisca Axe Murder House at all?
Yeah, February of this year. That was, and I'm good friends with oh my God, he'd kill me right now. I can't think of his name. He's the caretaker and does the tours and oh my God.
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I've been friends with him for oh geez, since about as long as I have with your guests coming up next week. About 2012 is when I met him, and yeah, we went February. Cold, holy crap!
Oh, I can imagine.
And it was interesting because there's no electricity, there's no lights downstairs, and everybody else went upstairs because the air conditioners that are upstairs are also heat.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody went up and they were sleeping in the kids' room, and I'm like, I'm not sleeping in the kids' room. And so I stayed downstairs by myself. And that little bitty couch that's over by the piano, I set up, prop myself up in it, and wrap myself up in a sleeping bag.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny because, of course, to go to the bathroom, you have to go out and you have to go across. And if I heard, the girls all night long up and down the stairs, and it's funny because my eyes are adjusted to the darkness, and I could see them stand in the doorway, and every single time, you think he's okay? You think he's all right? So it'd be so funny because I'm standing there and they're trying to focus and see if they see me or sitting there, and I'd go, I'm fine. Scare the crap out of them. But I did hear 3 different voices that night. It sounded like they were just, one of them was like in front of me. And the other 2 was like they were sitting next to me on the couch. And I'm still going through stuff because I had recorders running the entire time we were there.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 2 of them running downstairs when we all called it a night. And I'm hoping I caught it because I verbally, I physically could hear it.
Right.
But the last one bothered me because it was a female, and it was like she was right next to me, and all I heard was blood in a female's voice.
Oh, wow.
And that was probably about 4 o'clock in the morning was the last time I heard a voice speak to me. And I'm like, wow, that's a bit unnerving.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I've had something similar, but not to that point. I've had them where they clear their throat in your ear before.
Because there was 2 female and 1 male, and the 1 male voice said, and that was the one that was like in front of me, and it said, you shouldn't be here. And it's one of those where I'm wrapped up and sitting there because it's freaking cold, and my eyes flew open, and I'm like, man, that was just like almost nose to nose when I heard that. You shouldn't be here. I'm like, well, tough.
Yep. I would have been like, I paid for this, so I'm staying.
Exactly. I'm not going anywhere. Yep, we did that in February.
If any of the audience still got any more questions, feel free. We got 10 minutes left.
Catherine Evans, what'd she say? Oh, we already talked about that, didn't we? My dream location. Yeah, that was. Yeah, if there's anything you want to know, just ask. I'm an open book. I got nothing to hide. Come here. Make your 5 minutes of fame. There. Hey, I love you too, rotten cat. What?
I've got one too. He's running around the house upstairs.
He's mine. He's with Dad all the time. Usually you can hear him before anything, but he's been actually relatively quiet. And my lizard, I put him to sleep. I shut all his lights off and stuff before we started the show.
Mm.
Yeah, he's sound asleep.
Is there a location that really frightened you?
Yeah. It was, I can't, 2 years ago, I was asked to do the St. Cloud Hotel in Canyon City, Colorado. And the owners of it flew me there. I stayed with my my aunt and uncle and my cousin all live in Canyon City. I got to do that and another location, and they didn't want me to give the location out. They were going to let me investigate, but they didn't want, and it's a famous place that's there, but they just didn't want it put out, if I'd found anything, or make it worldwide public. Well, at that time, this is when I was still investigating alone. I had no other members. It was just me. The St. Cloud was, what an amazing place, because I went in at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, locked myself in, and didn't leave till 7:30 the next morning. I was in that entire hotel by myself, and it was a little uneasy at times. But the house that I went and investigated, I get there and they're remodeling it. So of course that heightens everything in there. And when I got to it, and actually that's one of the pictures in the stories that'll be in my next book. That house didn't want me there. Didn't want me. I mean, it like an elephant has stepped on my chest when I come in the door. And it was so heavy, and just, it was not nice, and it did not want me there, didn't want me investigating, didn't want anything to do with me. And there was a couple of things that made it even harder. It's close to a major road, so there was a lot of traffic, and you could hear semis and stuff go all by. Then I don't know, it was shortly after dark. I had all these bums and hobos and stuff that were camping out on the front deck, on the front porch. And that was uneasy. And then they started migrating. They were around the back door too. And so it was probably about midnight, and it was just, they did not want me there. That house didn't want me there. And finally, I got a hold of my cousin. I said, no, I'm done. She goes, are you scared? I said, not that I'm scared. It's just, it does not want me here. And I don't want anything to happen to me or them to retaliate to the new owners for having me there. So, yeah, that one, it bothered me. And the picture that I drew for it, you just have to buy the book, because the people that have seen the picture already was like, what? I said, yeah, that's basically what I seen when I got there. And they're going, and you still went in anyway? And I said, well, it's what I do.
Yep.
But yeah, I never made it through the night, and I just didn't want to make things worse, because like I said, they were brand new owners, and I didn't want to create any problems for them, because they hadn't had any problems since they'd been there. Nothing strange had happened. Nobody was hurt or anything like that. So I wasn't going to take the chance. So yeah, I did not stay or finish the investigation.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. It's not worth the risk.
No, it wasn't. And it was cool. I still had another 10 days to spend there, so I still got to do a lot of cool things.
Especially if you're by yourself too. That's even the worst part of it.
Yeah, and there was it's almost 4 years I was doing all the investigations for AOP, was just me. And I'm still going over stuff. What now?
Sounds like how I started out. It was just pretty much just me.
Yeah, it was. I still like doing it alone, even though it's a big no-no and you really shouldn't. But you don't have to worry about anybody else. Don't have to worry about any other contamination
Yep.
or, yeah, and I got used to it, but the thing is, you got 8 cameras running, you got 8 recorders running for 8 hours straight, and you take 500 pictures, and with one person, I'm still going over stuff that's almost 4 years old.
Right. Yeah, here too. I know that feeling. All the DVR footage, especially DVR, is the worst.
Oh yeah,
And you gotta pound the caffeine in you to even stay awake through most of it.
exactly. And then you get to the point where you're trying to focus on the entire screen, but then you catch yourself looking just in one corner or at the bottom, and then you're going, "Oh, you're going to miss something. You got to look." You know.
What kind of EVP program do you use through your computer?
Uh, as far as my software,
Yeah.
oh, man, where is my other computer's out there. It's God, I wish I could think of it right offhand. It's a great. I paid for it because there's audio and video, and um, oh, it's just 3 letters, and for the life of me, it's escaping me. Dang it! But
Is it WavePad?
yes, that's it. Yeah, and I
That's what I
love it.
use as well.
I absolutely love it. And I have the audio and the video for it. The video is great because the whole taking a picture and you can do the whole 360-degree
Yeah.
on it. I mean, yeah, it was worth the money I paid, and and then all the free updates, that still come with it. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. It was the life
You're
of me. I couldn't think of it. But yeah, that's what I use. Yep.
If anybody else has got another question, we got 1 more minute left.
Do you ever worry about something following you home from your location? Um, no, I really don't, Catherine. I do the same thing I have since I started investigating. Um, whatever you believe in, whether it's God, Buddha, Mohammed, whatever. And I'm a man of faith. I have been ever since I was a little boy. I pray myself in and I pray myself out. And I do the same thing every time I'm there. Hi, my name is Rex. I'm not here to hurt or harm you. I'm just here to hear your story. If you want to tell me your story, love to have a conversation with you, because we coined a phrase years ago, ghosts are people too. You know, you don't go into where they live and start yelling and screaming and demanding them to show themselves or do something. You wouldn't want me to come to your house and yell and scream at you. It's the same exact thing. And that's what I do. And I just tell them, and when I'm done, I pray myself out and tell them, thank you if you spoke to me or if I caught a picture of you. I will be back. Thank you very much, but you have to stay here. You can't come with me. You need to stay here. And the one time I did not do that, sorry to say this, but it bit me in the ass. And it's never happened since then. So, and I really don't worry about it.
Well, we just hit our hour long. I'd like to thank my guest, Rex, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And we'll stay in touch and
You betcha.
maybe hook up together and do some events or whatever.
It will probably have to be sometime next year, because after my last investigation in October, I have surgery a week later, and the rest of my year is going to be done. So
Yeah, we're booked out for the rest of the year also. So
yep.
I thank you again. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Be sure to tune
Yes.
in next week. Check out my next guest, the Booth Brothers.
They're awesome.
So
They're great.
we'll see you all again next week. Thanks again, Rex.
You bet. Take care. Thanks. Been an honor.